So this may have been my favorite part of the Southington, Ohio Trials event, just afterwards playing around on these steps and splatting up these ledges with the Heralds. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through all 8 of these sections, and it was a lot of fun, but it was definitely different terrain. This was one of the few sections that had a bunch of dirt as opposed to a bunch of boulders. This is section 1. This is my 4th loop through, and finally decided to pull out the camera and record a little bit. That one I was able to get cleanly. This is section 2, which provided a challenge right there. I took a dab, and don't think I made it through this section without at least 1 point the whole time, but well laid out, very challenging. I was riding spa this time. I actually stepped up from the Sportsman class to what's considered between Sportsman and Advanced. So you ride half of the Sportsman's line, half of the Advanced, so it's called spa. This section 3 was a mess. Look at all these boulders, man. This buddy goes down, and listen to his response when I catch him on film.
You okay?
Yeah, good. Hey, by the way, I subscribe to your video. I meant to tell you.
Thanks, man. Be careful out here. Better to strategic dab than go down, man. This one's tough.
So one thing Southington taught me is that I need to get more comfortable riding through these types of boulders. How important it is to pick your line and then be able to stay accurate to that line, because once you're off, your balance is thrown. It's hard to pick your way cleanly through. And man, this was a challenge. I'm just not used to riding these type of boulders. Much more comfortable on logs and hills and tight turns, muddy stuff like that. I just don't practice this enough. So this section 3 was extremely difficult, and I heard that Kerry Wagner was able to ride through it cleanly, so the next time through I decided to take out the camera and see what he could do. Watch the shift lever as he makes his way through this boulder field.
Kerry Wagner, section 3, Wagner Moto Trials. I think he just lost his shifter.
Now I think these 2 rides actually summarize a little bit of my event. Here's Gary Roach being strategic, picking his way through, knowing when to dab versus going for it, which is what I did sometimes and wound up crashing.
Section 4. Yeah. Camera's kind of magic. He's been eating. He's been doing that really well all day. Wheel placement, form, perfect. Nice, nice.
The out of bounds up there and a big boulder stopped me dead.
Oh, nice. Wait, say that again? You were headed for the out of bounds?
I was really close. I was flirting with the out of bounds, and there was a big boulder and I just got stopped.
All right. Glad you got stopped.
As opposed to
going out of bounds.
So this one is section 5. This one gave me trouble. I wound up getting a 5 on this one twice. The turn at the end going up over this angled rock. Definitely something I could jab zap, but just struggled. I wound up hitting way too high with my front wheel and not getting any lift on it. Caught the skid plate, came to a quick sudden stop on an angle and just took a dive. So you'll see the checker is actually getting ready to spot me a little bit. I tried jab zapping this the first few times, and this time decided with that little kicker to go ahead and try for a splat, which I had seen somebody else do.
not quite enough splat on that splat.
Just didn't give it enough RPM and commit fully to that clutch pop. Now right here, I should have hopped. I don't know, maybe I was tired. Decided just to put the foot down and bring the front wheel in through the gates. Now this is section 6. Again, going through these boulder fields, just couldn't quite stay on my line. Down I go again for the dab. And this is definitely one advantage to being tall. I mean, the shorter people, they can't put their foot all the way down there, so I am thankful, although I'm hunched over all the time when I'm riding, when I do go down for a crash or have to dab, it's much easier being tall. And for those of you wondering, I am 6'6". Now this next little portion was a down and up, and I had to stay to the right. There's a gate I gotta go through right there, but then not go to the left, which is something I did in a previous loop. So you know, when you go through the wrong gate, man, instant 5, it's just something you got to learn from. So here's section 7, fairly straightforward, just coming up here and then down around to the right. And up and over this little rock. And I must have dabbed right there yet again.
The last place you need to put a foot.
All right, Kerry Wagner here, section 8.
This might have been one of my favorite sections right here. Provided a little bit of a challenge. Up and over that rock and the off camber.
Nice ride,
Nice
Kerry.
job, Kerry. So Charlie on the left there is the buddy I was riding with. He was riding the advanced line, so he had 4 more difficult sections, and Brian is going to run the advanced line. They had to go a little higher on this rocky section, and right there, very challenging. You can see his rear wheel just stayed in the air as he was going down that steep terrain, and then turn around in a similar higher line up through this next portion. So this is the 4th loop, and Charlie is still
Brian.
examining which his best line is to go. This guy's a student for sure, and I really like riding with him. Very analytical. It's fun to watch and learn from a more experienced rider. If you guys are new to trials, I definitely recommend riding with another guy. I said, hey Charlie, can I film you? He said, no, please don't. So I just snuck in a couple shots right here while he wasn't noticing. But you can see this advanced line is very high up, very steep, and you certainly don't want to go down right there. So Charlie taking a little bit more cautious approach, definitely understandable. So this is my Sportsman line. In this one, I didn't have to go nearly as high and then come down, use all that space to make a nice sweeping turn. Let's get some momentum for this off camber over that obstacle. And I was able to clean it that time, thankfully.
All right, that one felt good.
And here's some footage of Ron, who was riding the same line as I was in this section. This is the Sportsman line. Up and over.
Nice
and
ride. Nice wheelie there too, man.
Guys, thanks so much for joining me in Southington, Ohio. I had a blast, but realized I definitely need to work on my lines and riding boulders and just section practice and not as much on the obstacles.